his life, and you will have the opportunity to use that money to fund a brand new home worth nearly $1 million, as well as, get this, get yourself a new whip. You know, I mean, what better way to celebrate your guilt than to spend the money that was donated to you for the sake of lawyer fees on a home and a brand new car? Allegedly.
The defendant's family wasn't just fighting in court. They were scrambling to keep their defense alive with cold, hard cash. They launched a crowdfunding page on GiveSendGo, and by April 17th, the total shot past $453,000. By May 1st, it had already crossed $515,000. That's not just support. That's a tidal wave of money pouring in from strangers rallying behind someone they barely even know. But that wasn't the only fundraiser stirring up controversy. Metcalf's father, who owned the Frisco pizzeria where his son worked part-time, turned to GoFundMe. Almost $250,000 came rolling in there too. Jacob Wells, the founder of GiveSendGo, even stepped in publicly saying the defendant should be given the same presumption of innocence as everyone else. Bold words. But the platform still had to slam the brakes on comments after racist and ugly remarks flooded the page. The backlash was that intense. Then came the online chaos. An account pretending to be the Frisco police chief popped up on X.
Nope, just these the guys on the ground down there, the heavily armed officers that made their way inside. They actually are kind of just milling about or holding the perimeter, as it would be. The non-essential, you can see them making their way back over to these armored vehicles, probably doing a little debrief about what they saw.
Dropping a fake autopsy report that claimed Metcalf died from an MDMA fentanyl overdose. Millions saw it before anyone realized it was completely fabricated. The FBI and Frisco police had no choice but to open a federal investigation. Because this wasn't just gossip, it was someone impersonating law enforcement and pushing lies to the masses. And just when the family thought the storm couldn't get worse, the Daily Mail threw gasoline on the fire. They ran a story claiming the defendant was living in a luxurious $900,000 home and pocketing thousands from donations. But here's the catch. The family hadn't taken a single dollar. Suddenly, they weren't just defending their loved one in court. They were defending their own reputation on national television. The crawl on the evening news hit like a bomb. The finances of the Anthony family are now the subject of a groundbreaking federal investigation. What used to be just whispers online has exploded into a televised bombshell. The anchor's voice makes it official. After being indicted for first-degree murder, Karmelo Anthony's parents rushed to dump their $20 million mansion like it was on fire, and now federal investigators are circling because this isn't just a house sale. It looks like the start of something way bigger. You lean in, hitting rewind, desperate to catch every word. The report raises the red flag immediately. The Anthony family didn't just sell their Dallas mega mansion. They did it in total secrecy. Why the rush? Why no transparency about the buyer? And why funnel the deal through a mystery trust that nobody had even heard of before? That's not normal. That's suspicious. Here's where it gets even crazier. Within 48 hours of the indictment, the house was listed, and boom, it was gone. No open houses, no endless showings, just a lightning-fast closing. Prosecutors are calling it exactly what it looks like, a preemptive move to unload assets before the government can slap down seizure orders. And the DOJ, they're not buying the innocent timing excuse. Investigators are now digging into whether the sale was part of a plan to move money offshore or hide wealth that could be used for restitution. According to sources, the buyer isn't just confidential. The money trail leads straight to a shell corporation tangled up in an offshore account network flagged during a 2021 banking audit. That's not coincidence, that's a pattern. Meanwhile, the Anthony family's legal team is spinning the story hard. They claim it's all just an innocent decision to preserve their legacy. But the feds aren't convinced for a second.
My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what might happen to her. And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false.
And now the public is split down the middle. The big question is being asked everywhere. If your family was facing the trial of a lifetime, would you sell everything and disappear into the shadows, or would you stand tall and fight it out? Scrolling through real estate listings, one photo hits you like a punch to the chest. The Anthony estate, once a jaw-dropping $30 million contemporary palace, now sits with a giant red banner across it screaming, "For sale." But this isn't about luxury property. It's about fallout, plain and simple. The Anthony family's spotless image has crumbled under the weight of their legal scandal. And make no mistake, this isn't about downsizing or chasing a new lifestyle. This is pure survival. Sources close to the investigation confirm the court has already frozen massive chunks of the Anthony family's assets over fears of donor fraud and misused GoFundMe proceeds. That means cash flow is gone, and selling off the mansion is the only way left to keep the lights on or pay for a powerhouse legal team. This wasn't just a home, it was a flex, a symbol of status, acceptance, and power. From the advanced security systems to the glittering marble floors, from the indoor pool to the 8-car garage, every inch screamed prestige. Now all those luxuries are being ripped apart and tossed on the market out of desperation. Insiders say the family is scrambling to close a deal fast before more federal seizures hit. But here's the twist. Brokers are whispering that offers are rolling in far below the asking price. Buyers smell blood in the water, and they're circling like sharks, and the internet, it's on fire. Reddit forums, YouTube breakdowns, and TikTok threads are tearing this story apart, demanding answers. Did supporters unknowingly help bankroll this mansion when they thought they were covering legal fees? Were donations meant for defense secretly fueling the upkeep of a $30 million fortress? Now, it's not just about the courtroom anymore. It's about trust, betrayal, and whether the Anthony family fooled thousands into funding their luxury lifestyles. Behind those long palm-lined driveways and towering iron gates, the Anthony family painted a picture of struggle, but court records now expose it as betrayal. If the mansion they're selling was secretly financed by your donations, money you thought was going to survival and legal defense, could you ever trust again? The footage looping online shows it all. The Anthony estate, once a fortress of privacy, now swarmed by drones like it's a crime scene under investigation. This isn't just about unloading a mansion. It's about dismantling an illusion built on smoke and mirrors. Court filings reveal the shocking truth. The $20 million estate wasn't fully paid off. Instead, a massive portion was covered after that first tidal wave of crowdsourced donations rolled in. And here's where it gets damning. The money trail shows that just 3 weeks after donations topped $600,000, the family signed off on a jaw-dropping renovation contract. We're talking custom landscaping, a luxury theater system, and imported high-end appliances straight from overseas. Prosecutors are calling it what it looks like. Proof that while donors thought they were keeping a family afloat, the Anthonys were funneling the cash into living out their fantasy dream home, and it didn't stop there. Surveillance video admitted into evidence shows endless deliveries, designer furniture, catered private parties, valet trucks in and out late into the night. Meanwhile, their online pleas painted them as desperate, drowning in financial ruin, begging the public for help. The contradiction is staggering. Social media erupted the second this came out. Tweets went viral, with one post summing up the anger. "We weren't paying court costs. We were paying for their fantasy." Reddit threads are dissecting every receipt, every delivery, every dollar, and TikTok is flooded with timelines linking donations to luxury purchases. With the mansion officially listed and federal investigators tracking every cent, the narrative has flipped. The Anthony family isn't just fighting charges in court, they're fighting accusations of betrayal in the court of public opinion. This isn't about a grieving family under attack. It's about optics, strategy, and the ugly lengths people will go to keep up the image of wealth and innocence. Ask yourself this: if someone on trial for murder used your support to bankroll their lifestyle, would you still defend them? The next twist drops live on national news. Cameras catch the Metcalf family stepping out of the courthouse, surrounded by a swarm of reporters. But they're not there for sound bites or sympathy. They're carrying documents. And those papers confirm what the whispers online had been hinting at. The Metcalfs have filed a civil lawsuit against Karmelo Anthony's parents. The charges: misappropriation of donations, emotional distress, and obstruction of justice. And just like that, the stakes skyrocket. This is no longer just a criminal trial. It's now a full-scale legal war. Their attorney doesn't hold back when he addresses the press. He points out that over $1 million was raised, and not a single dollar went toward uncovering the truth. Instead, he claims, the money was hidden, spent, and redirected into covering up the narrative. The lawsuit lays it all out with receipts, lavish hotel stays, massive security consulting fees, luxury perks that had nothing to do with justice. Meanwhile, the Metcalf family was mourning their son and enduring online harassment for daring to ask questions. The contrast is brutal. One family begging for honesty, the other allegedly building walls of privilege with the very donations meant to defend them. One page of the suit, caught on camera by a zoom lens, shows the words in bold: intentional infliction of emotional distress. The lawyer drives the point home. The Anthony family didn't just misuse money, they weaponized false narratives to sway public opinion and silence victims who were already grieving. And now, they'll have to answer for it in a courtroom packed with eyes, cameras, and a nation hungry for accountability. The Anthony Mansion sale no longer looks like a slick publicity stunt. It reeks of desperation. A last-ditch scramble for cash that has people wondering, will the Anthony family walk out of court with nothing left? Did they just sign their own financial death warrant, or was it all worth it just to shield their son? And if the truth can destroy lives this easily, what's the real price of a lie? Every major news outlet is plastering the story across screens, security camera timestamps flashing, viral courtroom sketches, helicopters circling the estate like vultures. But none of those images hit as hard as the receipts now made public. Financial records show a brutal picture. Karmelo Anthony's parents allegedly spent donor money on everything except legal defense. The receipts don't lie. Wire transfers, luxury goods, indulgent upgrades, all bought with money the public thought was saving a family. One purchase stands out like a slap in the face. Just 2 days after telling the court they were broke, they dropped $16,000 on a designer handbag. In court, the prosecutor didn't soften her words. She looked the jury dead in the eye and said this wasn't just about protecting their son. It was about exploiting grief, exploiting compassion, and living in luxury off the pain of others. Behind her, slides told the story in black and white. Invoices for private chefs, vacation packages, even an $8,000 home theater upgrade installed while the public was still donating in outrage. Then the Metcalf family's lawyer stepped forward, hammering it home at a press conference. They didn't just stab Austin in the heart, they stabbed every single donor who gave out of compassion. That line hit like an earthquake. Social media exploded instantly. Hashtags like #refund the truth and #justice not jet skis started trending within hours. Influencers who once pushed the Anthony fundraiser are now backtracking, issuing public apologies for ever supporting it. Donors feel robbed, betrayed, and furious, and the Anthony family, they're now fighting for more than innocence. They're fighting against a tidal wave of public disgust. Some donors are no longer just angry. They're threatening to launch a full-on fraud lawsuit. And inside the courtroom, the mood has shifted. It feels colder now, not from the air conditioning, but because the illusion has shattered. The story of desperate parents blindly defending their child has given way to something darker, what looks more like a calculated scheme to milk sympathy for profit. The questions hanging in the air are brutal. If the crime itself didn't already make people uneasy, is the true breaking point the betrayal of trust? When grief becomes a paycheck, when compassion gets turned into cash, where does the line finally snap? That evening in court, the prosecutor drove the knife in deeper. If even one part of this property was improved with funds obtained under false pretenses, it is eligible to be seized by the government. The warning lands heavy because this isn't just about guilt or innocence anymore. Justice doesn't stop at the front door. The public is left staring at their screens, asking themselves, if it were your home, your family's legacy, would you risk it all just to preserve a lie? How far would you really go to protect an image built on deception? Outside the mansion, the final chapter is writing itself in real time. One side of the street is lined with news vans capturing every angle. On the other, protesters chant while quiet supporters stand frozen, staring at the house that's already slipping out of the family's hands. The for sale sign is gone, replaced by an official construction notice, because the estate is no longer theirs. It's under civil asset forfeiture, seized for investigation, and then the kicker. Near the East Wing, a demolition crew arrives, unloading heavy equipment. Not to tear the whole place down, at least not yet. Court filing suggests something even more sinister. Investigators believe structural changes may have been made to hide evidence. The Anthony Mansion has stopped being just a house. It's now a crime scene, a monument to deception, and a chilling reminder of how far a family was willing to go to keep the illusion alive. It's all unraveling in the open. Videos of the takedown are everywhere. Drone shots circling the mansion, leaked text messages, Karmelo's emotional courtroom breakdown, and now the family's prized home turned into a forensic investigation site. One clip goes viral instantly, a close-up of Karmelo's old basketball hoop still bolted above the garage. The comments pour in. From headlines to hoop dreams, he had it all. Innocence lived on that rim, but guilt hid inside this house. The story takes one last devastating twist. The family's lawyer confirms prosecutors are digging into whether the funds from the GoFundMe scandal were used to purchase the mansion just 2 years ago. If investigators prove it, the consequences are brutal. Criminal restitution orders, full government seizure, and the family forced to pay back every single dollar they ever raised. Imagine losing the house, the money, and the last shred of public trust all at once. Now the questions echo across every TV headline, courtroom bench, and online feed. Was this really just about protecting a son? Or was the Anthony family building an empire of lies from the very beginning? And if you knew your entire legacy was at risk, would you risk it all to keep a secret that was doomed to surface anyway? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.